Hey, what's the crack? You're all very welcome to episode 84 of Buckshot for Friday, the 9th of November 2018. Fucking Jesus, how are you? I'm only in the door, lads. As always, I'm only in the fucking door, sure. I'm in the door from a wonderful night at the Laughter Lounge. Just smashing. It was smashing. It was sponsored by Coors tonight. I didn't get any free Coors or anything. I wouldn't be fond of Coors. But you know what? If Coors ever wants to sponsor the podcast, I'll absolutely be delighted to tell everybody how delicious it absolutely is. I was driving last year. Where would you be going? I had a couple of the old non-alcoholic fucking Yoki's Erdingers. They're not bad. As old non-alcoholic beers go, they're not bad. Who knew we were going to kick straight off into beer at, what time are we? Almost 12 o'clock at night. This will be going out to you in the morning. So, once again, as always, the housekeeping out of the way. Thank you all very much to everybody who's contributing to the podcast in the way of via Patreon. If you haven't heard of Patreon, where the fuck have you been? You clearly haven't listened to this podcast before, or any other podcast, as it seems to be these days. I have a Patreon account. Well, the podcast has a Patreon account, which is paying for all the sound gear and all the rest of it. It, essentially allows people, if they just really like the podcast and they want to keep it going, and give me a good excuse to turn down other work, and just record more podcasts for you fine people, you can simply contribute to it. And you can fling a couple of dollars at it. Fling a couple of dollars that you can do one time only, or there's mostly people have signed up on a monthly basis. £3. Sure, you wouldn't miss £3, would you? Would you miss £3? $3 even. Less. It's about 2 something. I'd say. I don't know what the exchange rate is at the minute. But it does. It helps actually, justifiably do a podcast on a weekly basis, twice weekly basis, sometimes thrice weekly basis. Is that thrice or thrice? I don't fully know. But thank you all very much. Like that, the link will be in the description if you want to give it a gander. Of course, I do wet the beak of the people that are exclusively for Patreons. And at the moment, it's exclusive footage, I suppose, listenership to the Tom and Jerry show. The back catalogue of the Tom and Jerry show. Like that, I'll be producing throughout January and February. I'm definitely going to be doing just Ramble Pods purely for the Patreons. Even if that's only 10 you'll get talked to directly from me. And like that, may even set up a kind of a Skype situation, and we'll have the fucking right out crack once a week. But that'll be purely only for Patreons. And that's not to exclude anybody else, but it's to say thanks to the people that do. You know what I mean? You know yourself. You have to do that. And I'm more than happy to do it. Pay people back for slinging a couple of dollars at the old podcast. Like that. T Republic is there for you too. If you prefer to just contribute to the podcast in a different way, just buy something cool with the Buckshot and RamblePod logos on it. Go to the T Republic shop /Tom O'Mahony. I'll put the link in the description. It's very easy to find it. If you go to my Facebook page, click on shop, and that'll take you straight to it. I'm not selling any other shit, just Buckshot and RamblePod stuff. So, like I said, I was in the lounge tonight, / as you'll hear this in the morning, last night, but I will be there again tonight, and I'll be there again tomorrow night, Saturday night. It's a great crack. Don't know what else to tell you. Pop along. It's the Laughter Lounge. Christ almighty, I record all my podcasts there at the minute. I'm practically moved into the place. But still one, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with a place that's well run so fucking well. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Who's on tonight? Paul Marsh is on. Johnny Candon is on. 2 people who've been on the podcast before. And Russell Hicks. Probably 2 of the most comedy sounding names you could ever get to put together. Very nice chap from Texas. He smashed it. Yeah, he was brilliant tonight. And so he'll be there all weekend. Where will I be? Oh, yes. Jesus Christ, before Panto kicks off. One of the last gigs I'll be doing. I have a couple of corporate ones, but sure, you know yourself, lads. Like I said, I have the Garda one coming up this week. Should be a bit of crack. I'll fill you all in 2 Ramble Pods time, the crack. Or I may be silenced. I may have to sign a contract that I can't say a thing. Who knows? But I'll probably say something anyway. You know yourself. But anybody in the Cork direction, the west of the city, I'll be in Ballincollig at the Black Sheep Comedy Club. I'll be there. I don't know who else is on with me, but I'll be there next Friday night, Friday the 16th. I know there's some Ballincollig people listening to this, so head on down. Head on down next. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm coming to your place near you. Yeah, we were... Jesus Christ, I'll probably talk about it on the Ramble Pod, but I was going back to the car this evening. The balls of these cunts, like, down in the car park, the old Irish Life car park, just off Talbot Street. It's a nice car park. Security, well lit, the whole lot around the corner from the Laughter Lounge. And there's 3 fuckers just sitting over the corner playing tunes on their phone, drinking cans. And one of the lads has no shirt on, and one of them's pissing up against the fucking BMW. And you're like, lads, you're fucking security for a reason. At least make a phone call, at least. We'll talk more about it in the Ramble Pod. It just fucking rattled my fucking cage. I was like, should I just run these fuckers down? But then, Jesus Christ, clatter in the front from a fox. Well, if I have to hit 3 fucking skangers, I'll wreck the fucking thing. Bull bars. There's a lot to be said for all bull bars, lads. Panto launch. Again, I'll talk to you all about it on the Ramble Pod next week. There's no point in getting into it. So like I said, the next gig you'll see me at, if you're in the Cork region, or Dublin region, the Laughter Lounge tonight, and tomorrow night, Cork region, I'll be in Ballincollig next Friday night. So, moving on to today's guest, what a powerhouse of a man. He's one half of the WTS podcast, the What's the Story podcast, WTS Pod on Twitter. Not to be mistaken with the WTS Pod, which is What's That Smell podcast. Genuinely, there is actually a pod. I swear to God, I almost tagged those fuckers in it. What's that smell? I don't know what that smell is. I don't smell anything. It's a strange name for a podcast, but kind of intriguing. I may have to follow up on it if I have time. I might actually see what the fuck that is. But no, Graham is a legend. I would have had Danny on too, but Danny lives down the fucking country. So most people are probably listening to this, probably listening to WTS podcast. If you don't, you really should. It's embarrassing the level of riches that the lads have in the way of guests. George Foreman, fucking astronauts. Jesus Christ, I've had everybody on. But Graham, he's just powerful crack, and I knew he'd be good for a chat. We could have talked for 3 or 4 fucking hours on about 40 different subjects. We got into everything from him being a total Republican, probably the two of us being Republican, but he's a bit more staunch than me, but he's quite politically driven, and he knows about shit. You know what I mean? He reads and stuff. It's really doing myself a lot of justice here. No, he's a smart chap, and he's good he's powerful crack. Graham, he's a wheelchair user, but he plays for Ballybrack Bulls wheelchair team, basketball team. Holy Jesus Christ, it's fucking cutthroat, that stuff. Like, I don't know, has anybody seen a match? You should watch it. It's better. Like, I wouldn't be bothering my whole watching regular basketball, but wheelchair basketball all day long. They batter the bollocks off each other. Also, Graham is probably the biggest set of guns I've ever seen on a podcast guest, and that includes like Will Fleury and some of the boxers and stuff. Like, he'd fucking knock you the shit out. We had a right all. Yeah, we got heated on a few things, not to each other, like, but just about stuff and all the rest of it. But we had a right all laugh the whole way through it. You're gonna enjoy the living shit out of it. So please enjoy the very brilliant Graham Merro Merrigan. There we are, Merro. Here we are. Thank you very much, Graham Merrigan. Do you prefer Merro or Graham? Do you give a bollocks?
I don't really care, no.
No, you strike me as a fellow who couldn't give a shite about that kind of stuff.
Merro, people I grew up with call me Grahamo. My mum's maiden name is Clark, so there's still a minority in my area that will call me Clarky.
Really?
Because I was Graham Clark for maybe 10 years.
Right.
My parents got married. Grahamo, Merro. People call me G.
G.
How's it going, G?
Yeah, I can see G all right. Yeah.
What is it? Grahamo, G, Merro, Clarky. That's it, yeah. I don't care what I go with.
Yeah, so you're easy going enough about the whole thing. Come here, is Danny going to be pure fucking sour with us here now? Because, like, this is fair cheating. This is some cheating now.
This is cheating. He was asked, or people in his job were asking. They were inquiring. They made inquiries.
What?
Merro seems to be going on a podcast tour of his own.
Because you have. Who else have you been on?
I've been on the Magic Mayans podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And I was on Adam Burke's podcast. Oh, yeah. His Youth Pod Ireland, which was good.
This is going to tip him over the fucking edge, like, because you know what I mean? Danny would have had a fair bit of faith in me before this, like, you know, I thought I would sound like, but now we're just pure fucking knifing him in the back.
Danny realises he's the heel.
He is the heel, isn't he? Yeah.
Face.
Yeah, of course you are, yeah.
I'll be getting invites to all these things where he'll just... But sure, he's in the shticks now as well.
What's he supposed to do? Even I came out of the fucking shticks. I understood, like, what you had to do. Like, he's gone fucking regressed back into...
Yeah, absolutely. Sure, that's what you have to do now, isn't it? If you want to buy a gaff.
Stop. Sure. I'm trying to find all sorts of ways, like, to just... do I just fucking buy a... do you know what? Do you know the way people... This... I've kind of got... I was... It's not a new bit, but we were actually talking about it the other day. Like... You know the way people, you can recognize, identify.
Yeah.
So do you know the way you can identify, right now, I would not have anything to give out about if you turned around and said, Tom, I am, now, I'm recognizing as a black lady. Can I'm not supposed to be allowed to argue with you. Sure I'm not.
No.
In the modern society, I'm supposed to go, of course, Graham. You are a black lady.
How did we get to this?
Because I was thinking, can I now identify as a member of the travelling community? Is that it? Because it's another community, i.e. like the African American community. Could you? And
if you're a white man, can you identify as a black man?
Apparently you can. You can't argue with it nowadays. Because this is the big thing in America, is that if you fucking identify as whatever you identify, genetics or race or anything can't come into it. You just have to go, I'm with you. Yep. Do you know? Because if a fella all of a sudden turns around and goes, like Caitlyn Jenner says, I'm a bird, I'm a woman. Yeah. You have to go, yeah.
She's going through the motions though, isn't she? The operation and all.
Oh, she getting the full gearbox conversion. Yeah.
The conversion, yeah.
Is she? Is he? She?
The world's gone mad with all that though, hasn't it?
But that's what I mean. Like
the world's gone mad in the sense where, you know, like is it that the world is going mad that people are changing and being different, or is it the world gone mad of the reactions? Because if you said to me you want to live the way you want to live, I couldn't give a shit.
I think that's it. I think there's a handful of people on Twitter, and Twitter alone, really, that
it's fair to say.
They don't really have hobbies at anything else other than fucking getting sour at what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Because if you like genuinely asked your average Joe or Josephine, sorry, I need your opinion on the fact that I'm now identifying as something else, you go, yeah, man, does it cost me a fucking penny? No. Fucking drive on. Isn't that like, that's all people are worried about. Is it going to cost me a fucking penny? No? Oh, you keep doing it, kid.
Yeah,
knock yourself.
like a freebie.
Yeah. Do you know what, like, this is...
But it's like the uproar over the tissues there a couple of weeks ago.
I hear the man say...
I was just kind of going, I don't really care. Like,
but both sides of the fence is fucking stupid.
That's what I mean. Both sides of the fence, like
having to change it, and the people who are
change it, and like, do you care enough?
Yeah, tissues.
And then people, the reactions seem to be more. They're more kind of angry than the actual complaint.
Yeah, totally. I mean? Yeah.
Like I seen something there recently about I think it was either Superman next movie or James Bond's next movie, where the suggestion is that the lead is going to be black.
Oh yeah.
People go mad about it. Could not give a shite.
But what does it mean to you, you fucking idiot? You know what I mean?
Superman's an alien, like.
Yeah, exactly. He mightn't even have a cock.
No, who cares?
And if he does, it's probably green and has two of them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
who cares?
Like, but that's the reality. And I mean, do you know what? Just want to see a really cool actor like Idris Elba. Yeah, all fucking day long I want to see him being fucking James Bond, kicking the fucking heads off people.
The James Bond books they're books.
Yeah.
It's not fact.
I think people just don't have enough hobbies, like, you know what I mean, or they're not keeping them. They're not working hard enough.
This is the thing, though. The uproar that I would see on Twitter would be people that I like and respect, and sometimes just kind of going, just relax. Like, yeah, who cares?
Do you think people are, when they do have a whinge about something like that, they're pandering to somebody, like? Do you know what I mean? Or are they genuinely deep down stomping around the kitchen at home going, I cannot believe this? Or do you think they're going, do you know it'll sound class if I sound outraged by this?
No, I think it's the classic what Frankie Gaffney said on our podcast, is that there's an element of you're sitting at home in your sitting room having a row with somebody living in Sydney.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Yeah.
And you leave that sitting room, you don't think about that person in Sydney. You don't say to your friends, I had a row with so-and-so in Sydney about the next black actor being Superman.
Of course you don't,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know who they're pondering to. I don't know.
Is it just the fact that it's so easy?
Are they pondering to anyone? I think it's probably the fact that it's so easy and it's on Twitter and you can just type words.
In your jocks.
On
the
toilet.
On the toilet. It was probably an awful whether Twitter wars probably happened on the jacks, I'd say.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember when I first joined Twitter, I used to think I was deadly, about 4 or 5 years ago. I was fascinated by celebrities on Twitter. Like, I remember when I first joined Twitter, and for some reason my friend directed me to it, and he was like, he just texted me. He goes, Michael Owen's bringing his dog out for a walk.
Stop. I
was like, what? He's like, yeah, Michael Owen's just out there tweeting he's bringing his dog out for a walk. I found that fascinating, like, and then it soon wears off.
The crack wears off.
I remember being so brave and just text or email or tweeting people and not thinking.
Oh yeah. You
know, back in the day. But then you realise, oh God, the followers. I got more followers now. Not that I'd never be careful on Twitter. I don't care. If I've got the conviction to think about it, I'm going to tweet it if that subject matter is something I care about.
Yeah, I don't care about anything really.
Yeah,
like, but because the way I break it down is if it's online and stuff, the only time I would get worried about it, I'm not probably even worried because it's the chances of getting an actual hiding, an actual shit, getting the head, like, because I can't take anything serious that's on the virtual world. I cannot, like, somebody could insult me down to my fucking genetics, my fucking ancestors in the virtual world, and I go, yeah.
In the virtual world?
In the virtual world.
And what about out in the real world?
Oh, that's sure, tops off, let's do it. Tops off. Let's have a set to and fucking sort this now.
Tops off session outside.
Yeah. Let's fucking sort this now. And that's, I can't see stringing along a fucking whinge. Can't see it being real. I can't make that association in my head with somebody who's having a row and in inverted commas online.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking row.
No, it's not.
Go nose to nose or throw a couple of fucking slaps. That's a row.
That's why you have to just kind of take Twitter and stuff like that with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But it's so bizarre how, like, I mean, I know people can make jobs, and we're talking on the internet right now to people,
exactly.
but again, people that listen to my podcast know that it's ludicrous anyway. Like, that there's, there are people who do probably normal jobs like driving trucks and hammering nails. There are people who
listening to you.
Exactly. Well, people who do regular shit, like, you know what I mean? So they'll be in the same boat as me in that I cannot put any weight in something somebody's saying online. Unless it's physically in my ears. Somebody's saying, I just can't.
What about if it's someone criticising rugby?
Oh, yeah, the whole time. But, like, in the same... No, but in the same...
The whole time.
Like, I go after your man Kimmich. Like, and I will fight him in the street. No bother, like. Because I know what he's up to.
What's he up to?
He's just... he's trolling like a motherfucker. But, like, I'd love a good scrap, a good set too. Like, and
do you respect his work?
He can't... No, I don't. Oh. That's it. I think, like, Like, if you're going, like, this and the same thing happens in the entertainment industry. You get people who go for the shock factor. I'm going to go for the shock factor. And the fact that he is completely taken the Eamon Dunphy fucking...
You think?
Oh! Like, you watch him now. Watch him on the... watch him, say, on... off the ball on a Sunday morning, reading the papers. None putting on me... And he quite literally, if you looked away, you go, that is fucking Eamon Dunphy. He's using the same terminology Dunphy was using 12 or 13 years ago, like, and I'm listening going, dude, you're going to have to get something else, like. Really? I get what you're going after the drug cheats and all the rest of it, but why do the Katie Hopkins on it, like? Why?
Do you think it's that extreme?
Oh, man, he's going after, like...
I love listening to him.
After regular Joes and all the rest of it. He's going after, like, these people are practically fucking dickheads for fucking liking this person. You're like... You couldn't have worded it another way. You're trying to draw it out to get column inches. And you know what I mean? I get it. But I'd love to have a scrap with him. Do you know what I mean? Let's just talk.
What about Ewan McKenna?
Yeah, I don't...
Because him and Paul they're off the same cloth. And is that Ewan is also after the drug sheets.
I get it, but I don't get the element of... I'm going to say shocking things for the sake of being shocking.
And you think Kimmich does that?
Totally. I have to get actually some info out of Kimmich's stuff. I have to pull out all the silly fluff in between. And the likes of Neil Francis does the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Fluff. Take out all that stupid shit. Don't be fucking... Because to me, it makes... It's almost like, oh, right, so you assume 90% of the people that read this need this fucking chubby, fluffy shit you stuck in around it to make it an interesting article. Yeah. You couldn't just write it with crafty fucking writing rather than going, I'm going to go shocking here and call people out on things. And when he goes after fans and stuff like that, it's like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Do you think he is at home blood boiling when he's tweeting?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. And that's why I'd love to scrap him, because I think it'd be hilarious. Like, come on, tops off, let's do it. Tops off, let's fucking do it.
Tops off session.
Oh, it has to happen. But it just for me, I think I find an element of laziness in it, because it's like, you know, when you see a wrestler rocking up and you're going, hey, I feel like somebody was doing that somebody had that gimmick 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Fuck off. And they're even sounding the same and stuff. And you're like, okay, you're new, you have finding your feet. But
New generation.
But Kimmage is like old, you know what I mean? It's like, you've worked till now you think you're going to, like, it's been done before. Like,
I'd love to interview him.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good interview. Interviewing him, like, you know what I mean? Because he wouldn't listen to me in the set, because I would just go straight after. There'd be no way would I would just go, what's the need and all the fluff.
Did you see when Luke Fitz called him out on Twitter, and then then Kimmage went on Luke Fitz's podcast?
Oh yeah. Sure, Luke Fitz wasn't ready for it at all.
He wasn't ready
at all.
Like. He was so naive.
Yeah.
And I watched that on their Facebook feed.
Did you?
Yeah, and did you not watch it?
No, I didn't watch it. No.
Tom, you'd have been in fucking stitches.
Go on.
So the story was that Luke called him out on something, and then subsequently they offered him a spot on the Left Wing rugby podcast.
Yeah.
But they all work for the same company.
The Independent.
The Indo. So they're in the podcast studio, and firstly, Kimmage just says to him, Luke, I asked your boss, could I interview you for a feature 3-4 months ago, and you refused. So I just want to put context into this, that we work in the same building. You chose to call me out on Twitter when you just could have come over to my office or my desk, and we could have talked it out, or we could have had a conversation. But no, we're on this, and that's fine. But he had about 4 folders.
Right,
with
ready
information.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was hilarious. But it was like Luke was just completely out of his depth. Who's the guy that Luke does it with, the podcast? I can't remember.
Will Slattery, is it?
Yeah, he was good.
But he's been journalist in a long time. Sure, but Lucas, what the fuck? Like, Luke, let's get real, like, you know what I mean? And even at that stage, he'd only just hung up his boots. Like,
and
you know
I think Kimmage and Luke's father are friends.
Right.
So
right.
Kimmage is like trying to put context on the two lads
Well,
knowing each other.
Like that, but that, I totally agree with what he's saying there. Like, this is what annoys me about Kimmage, is that he has the ability, like, he does have it, but it's then this fucking stuff where he just seems to be ticking an outer thing to sound dramatic. Like, you don't have to sound, like, I know you're trying to sound like the everyman to the everyman. Yeah. Totally get that. But then all of a sudden you go, full cunt. It's like, what's the need of that?
But his articles, there's articles that he writes that this is bizarre. Like, there's articles that he writes sometimes that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with the subject matter, but I just love the writing of it.
Yeah.
I love his first 3 or 4 paragraphs where he retells a story of about 10 years ago to put context on where he is now.
Neil Francis does the very same thing. Like,
Francis obviously robbing off.
Oh yeah, no, he is. Like, Kimmage is, like, he can do what he does. But he annoys me because he is a good journalist. in that he
Dave
does.
Hannigan as well. His pieces where sometimes I don't agree with. I remember 3-4 years ago he was writing pieces on Conor McGregor, and he was factually incorrect. But his piece was lovely.
Yeah. I have a lovely piece myself, you should
What did I say lovely for? What a gobshite word to use to describe an article.
And have you ever, because you're opinionated on enough stuff, have you ever been tempted by the writings? I suppose you have your podcast and you're doing enough of it now, you're pumping it out, you know.
Yeah.
I suppose it's in its own way is enough of a thing to be doing. Like, have you ever been tempted? I know you surely have written something anyway, have you?
I haven't written anything. I have been tempted. Recent enough, I was opinionated about a specific TED Talk about Mark Pollock, and I was very opinionated on Twitter, and a national publication contacted me to write a piece about it. Nothing has happened. I think it died down because of the presidential election. It was about a day or two before the kind of presidential race started.
Yeah,
and the editor messaged me on Twitter to do a piece, and I haven't heard from him in about 10 days, but that's the closest I've got to. But yeah, I'd like to. And then someone asked me, would I be interested in doing a TED Talk on the back of me giving out about a TED Talk?
Yeah, but sure, why not?
I don't really know what subject matter I would hit. I find those TED Talks quite patronising sometimes.
Yeah, I do. I actually totally find them like. Yeah. But then I'm a cynical old fuck too. Like, you know what I mean? I'll go, fuck off at yourself.
Really? Now I wouldn't be cynical, but I still find them sometimes. I'm kind of going. It's very American and very.
It is, and it's very much
the American dream type thing.
There's almost a. Don't worry, it's almost like when I stumble into a TED Talk online, I almost get the feeling like somebody's just looked around the door at me back out the screen, going, "Sorry, you're in the wrong room." You know what I mean?
I can imagine you on stage. No.
Just there's a bar next door. Fuck off. Like that.
No, you're in the pub.
Yeah,
You're supposed to be in Lanigan's next door.
Yeah. Not fucking Ted. Get the fuck, like, you know. So but I know my role too. At times, there's going, all right, yeah.
I know my role as well. It's kind of like, why would I be on a TED Talk? What would I have to offer to a TED Talk?
It's a weird one. Like, and you do have a podcast too where you can voice your opinion. You know what I mean? Like,
listen to that every week. Do you know what I mean?
But she could always write for Unfubblocked or one of those.
I would have back in the day.
I'd say
remember they used to hide the otter.
Yeah. I remember getting Unfubblocked when I lived in America. It was big in Boston.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd say it still is.
Yeah. It was big in Boston now. It was. I remember reading it on the bus going in on the mornings, like, and like that. I remember that the author, like, but I wouldn't be the only fella reading it, like.
But we had the editor of Unpublished on the podcast, Danny Morrison.
You did. I remember that. Yeah.
Such an interesting conversation about it, and just about the whole propaganda type messages getting across and stuff.
It's bizarre, isn't it? Like,
yeah. Is it still going on Unpublished?
I don't honestly know.
Because
I don't know.
There's not really. I'm not sure if it's still going, but I'm not sure if the need is still there for it than what of.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't
cry
be.
For help more.
Yeah,
so,
it was. Yeah, it was.
Cry to arms.
Hence why it was so big in America.
Yeah.
Like I could get it in New York as well, no bother. Like.
And what made you get it? Are you...
yeah, but sure, I grew up in a very Republican house. Like,
right.
Where I'm from would have been like there'd be the country. Like, it's the foot of the Galtee Mountains, like where an awful lot of the Republican uprising would have started in further south. Do you know the likes of that song Galtee Mountain Boy? Yeah, that's where that's based from. Like, yeah. So it would be very, but like I grew up like with a picture of Liam Lynch hanging on the wall in my bedroom, like and it was it was big. Like, it brought a lot of rebel bands when I was young.
Yeah,
didn't really understand why I was going to all these rebel bands with my parents, but it was very, especially with the old lad,
fist pumping.
Yeah. Very much the old lad, like, you know what I mean. But it was big. It was just like, there's still people to this day who would talk about like.
Where do you think republicanism is going now?
See, this is the thing.
Because I have a concern.
It's I mean, it's weird because I gig in the north an awful lot. Like, so I would have a lot of friends up the north, and prior to the Brexit thing, it was mad. Lads, especially open-minded people, they never once described where they lived as Northern Ireland. They just described it as Ireland.
Yeah.
And these were lads with surnames that were definitely of Protestant. But
they'd still say Ireland, would they?
Oh yeah, like they would market themselves not because they knew it was just a better thing to do, but it was like, what's the fucking point? Like,
yeah,
we've our money's different. That's it. And you're kind of going, what's a little different up here, all right? But it was becoming less and less, and then Brexit kind of came along and it fucking seemed to fuck up a lot of lads' heads. You could see it. They're going, jeez, well, I just fucking moved down to Dublin altogether. Like,
really?
Yeah, you could see it was like, because of course it'd be one thing if all of the Brexiting was happening in England, but it's because the fucking DUP, who were the most dinosaur, like, to the point that lads don't even want to joke about it because they're like, oh my god, like we have to live amongst this shit, and it's too small of a country. It's not like in America even where you joke and it not affect you, the Trump effect not affect you. Everything's affecting them up there, like
the thing I'm worried about, and I was evident, and I seen it a lot on social media, since the presidential election.
Right.
I'm worried I've seen people who have, we're talking about how do you identify. I've seen people who have identified as a Republican.
Yeah.
But now, since the presidential election race and with Peter Casey, I'm concerned that kind of type of Republican is going to be turning into the equivalent of one of these Britain first and Ireland first.
Yeah.
Keep Ireland for the Irish. Do you know that way?
Yeah,
and it's like treat or get, let's say
air exit almost like.
Yeah, air exit almost type.
Yeah.
And that's it's almost that Britain first thing. Like, we don't be needing that.
No,
we don't need an equivalent of that. And that's the only worry I would have.
I would say, and I was kind of wondering about the Casey thing, and I had a feeling that when I was reading it, you see, it was things were happening right at the time when he came out about the whole traveller thing. Like, and your average person, your average urban area, is, they don't really get it. Like, and I know what he was coming out was like, fucking relax, man, will you? Like, and who are you to be giving out about travellers? Like, Now, right at that
Hasn't
time,
lived in Ireland in years.
nah, this is the thing. But right at that time, you see, there's a lot of disenfranchised people of disenfranchised people living in rural areas who make up a large population of the country, like
That the government have forgotten about.
and they absolutely have.
Yeah.
Like I talk to friends and they talk about in the city, you know, do you know what, you can't get a bus down my road, and you're like, you fucking joking me?
So do you think it was a protest vote?
Yeah, I absolutely did. It's totally a protest vote. Like, there are militias right now as we speak. I guarantee you, they're arming up right now for tonight's tour. Because the guards are not policing the Midlands. And see, this is the big thing. People are fearing the major spate of robberies that are going on. Like,
What do you mean militia? What do you mean?
There's, like, right now, there'll be vigilante groups touring in jeeps around farms.
Are you serious?
Oh, 100%. Because they've been forgotten about.
I never knew
Middle
this.
Ireland, rural Ireland has been completely forgot about. And people, and they'll never get a voice because they just don't have the density of population to give out, like.
But so if it's a protest vote, why wouldn't they vote for one of the other candidates?
Because they weren't putting their hand up and they didn't show up. He's a cute fucker. Like, it was all like, he showed up. See, there was a big thing happening right at the time, right, just outside Thurles in North Tipperary, where there was 6 or 7 of these. Now, look, they were luxury houses. I don't know. The dispute came about in a strange way. They were being
in Tipperary.
they were being given to the travelling
travelling
community, and they weren't going to take them because there wasn't an acre of land to go with each one for their horses, and they were refusing to move into their houses.
See, I heard different.
This is all I read. You
That's
know
what
I mean?
Peter Casey was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I read that they were already in housing, and they were asked to move into these, and each family had horses, so they just asked, is there room for the horse? They didn't ask for a specific part
That
of the
could
land.
easily be in it, but
Yeah.
the way it was being peddled was that
Yeah,
they
and
wouldn't
I think
take
one
this.
of his contacts in Tipperary County Council was spinning it to him.
Yeah.
But still, even with that rhetoric, what's that got to do with a president?
Aside from that, I think what it was is that he was more of a man for them, because again, you have to remember, somebody living
He
in,
is an
say,
absolute cabbage.
oh yeah, but you have to remember, if he just peddles, who listen to anything? Because the presidential, like, people don't listen to the full rhetoric what people are offering. Like, Michael D was always going to get back in regardless, and sure, what's the president going to do anyway?
Absolutely.
Like, but I think it was the fact that the president doesn't do anything that people didn't give a fuck. They were like, yeah, here, do you know what? Because because you go to some place like West Offaly.
So do you think if there was a general election, they wouldn't have protested that?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
because this was a nothing.
This is a throwaway.
Yeah,
it was a
and
throwaway
because
anyway.
Like the turnout was only 46%. I think the turnout was only 56% because I think people. I know my dad. I don't think voted, and I think it was based on sure, he's going to win it anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think there's more people saying the majority of people that didn't vote. I would say didn't vote because they're like, sure.
Oh, totally.
Higgins is shoo-in. So if they voted, or let's say it got up to 70% turnout,
Yeah.
I think Higgins would have been up to 80%.
Oh, for sure. And that 20% wouldn't have been. It would have been way down. Like,
It would have been between the others.
yeah, I think it was a protest vote to show, because, like, you have to remember, an awful lot of these people feel very forgotten about. Like,
Yeah.
And you'll only, like, you look at the news, look at the genuine amount of things you'll hear. Go through any of the news, and the reality is it's Dublin based. And after that, then it'll be Galway, Cork, and Limerick. Nothing about the rest. You'll hear nothing about South Roscommon. Do you know what I mean? I gig in all these places, and I like talking to them. I may as well be talking about an alien culture as to what it is to live in Dublin, like, because they know it's nothing to them. It's like, well, we're in a different planet here. You fucking joke me. Dublin has done nothing for us here, like, you know. And they genuinely, the country outside of the major cities really do, and the big towns really do feel completely disenfranchised. Like,
That's nuts.
And I gig everywhere, so you meet them, you're like, I get it. I could nearly make a better hand at being a politician these days with who I meet.
Right. Because you know what's going on.
You know what's going on.
Yeah,
and you're like...
I think that's what the Healy Rays have, isn't it?
They really do. Like,
they have a stronghold down there.
Well, they really do. And you see, they'll speak from that point of view. Like, now, the problem is, for your average young country person right now, they're looking at them going, who the fuck are these guys too? Like, you know what I mean? They're like cartoon characters. Like, could we not have somebody fucking normal who still speaks from our point of view? Like, but then, the Healy Rays do, like, you want to see how immaculate the roads are around their area.
Doesn't Danny own a tarmac bloody company?
Actually, they own everything. But I will say, they employ a hell of a lot of people down there too, like, you know, and you take the good for the bad, like, you know, but...
I'm just thinking there when you were saying people being isolated in rural area. I'm starting to think about. I wonder what wheelchair users are like in rural areas.
Oh, forget about it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they do.
They'd all have to definitely drive.
They would, yeah. Yeah.
Public transport isn't great in Dublin. Never mind
No.
rural Ireland.
No. I mean, you would have, obviously, from your local towns, you would have, I suppose, the minibus that will come around and pick people up specifically, like.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it isn't. It's not going to be public transport. I suppose the options and the frequency of a public transport. Where you can go, I'll go at 1. Fuck it, I'll go at 2. Yeah. That minibus is showing up at fucking 11. You're getting on it because it ain't coming around till you know what I mean, like
till 11 the next day.
Yeah. Anyway, if you don't drive in the countryside, forget about it. Like.
So you're canvassing, are you? As you go
I am, yeah.
For your political career.
It's a weird. I'm not. No, fuck no. Would I? Would I? Me whole like you're a far better at likability. Like I'd end up rowing with people. That's all.
I was approached in the past by 2 political parties.
I bet you were, yeah.
And it's just I think it's too much pressure considering you probably wouldn't get anything done. Like
no.
And imagine turning someone down. Like imagine a single mother with 3 kids, homeless, ringing you up to like the local councillors in my area. I'd look up to because they have to go through a lot. I'd say.
Well, I genuinely anybody who is willing to get into it, you have to go. Okay, my cynical eye says you're in for a fucking handy number, like money-wise. Like, yeah. But then there's no handy numbers in the other way because you're going, Jesus Christ. Because I remember listening to an interview back, it was like 2009, the shit had hit the fan in the country. And it was an interview with Michael O'Leary. It was a long one. I don't know who did it. It was very good.
It's probably Matt Cooper, was it?
It could have been. I remember listening. I don't know. I got to listen to the whole thing in the car radio anyway, wherever it was. I think it might have been driving from Cork to Dublin or something. Anyway, and I remember he goes, would you go for running anything in politician? Would you consider yourself? How about, like, because the country's on its knees, would you be Taoiseach? He goes, nope. He goes, money, because money has fucking nothing to do with it. It's having to dance around all these other fuckos. He basically just went, the dancing and the fucking house of cards shit that needs to happen, and you got to fucking tickle this fella's nuts to fucking ask him to do, and you have to please everybody and nobody. He says, I will tell you now, he says, the only way, because he was saying, would you bring in a couple other like moguls to just straighten the country out? Because it would be the roughest 4 years. And he says, if I bring in JP, he said, bring in Magner, and I bring in, and he says, it'll be the roughest 4 years the country has ever, but I'd have to fucking set fire to every single politician and take over as a pure dictator for a 4-year period and then hand it back. That's the only way I would ever have any involvement. If I could, but he was talking about sheer dominance. Dictatorship is what he was talking about.
I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him.
No. There's something...
A man that owns a company where the employees have to buy their uniforms.
It's fucking bananas.
Do you know what I mean?
It's bananas.
Get a grip yourself.
Yeah, I mean, there's an element of it you're going, some of this shit for publicity, fucking Sanders.
Of course, every time he is around, it's for publicity.
Yeah. Like we had to change.
Buys a taxi just so we can skip the traffic. Yeah, get a grip.
We were flying back from the Czech Republic, and herself had put her maiden name accidentally, or her married name, and her maiden name is still on her passport.
Right.
And we flew out with Aer Lingus and flew back with Ryanair, and it was with the Aer Lingus, absolutely no problem. 140 quid to change the name. Changed fucking name, and the flight was the ticket wasn't worth that. Like with Ryanair,
I seen it the other day. I think it was it might have been Joanne
McNally.
Joanne McNally lost her passport.
Oh yeah, she did.
Tweeted Aer Lingus from Ryanair, and Aer Lingus gave like a 200 characters response, and it was a real Aer Lingus arm around the arm around the shoulder response, and Ryanair's response was, "Please check this link."
Oh my god. Oh my god! Because probably the social media person is in India, like you know what I mean. Like, yeah. Do you are you still playing basketball?
I am. Yeah, season just started. October 1st. We're 2 games down.
It's fucking. It's practically fucking rugby. Like,
well, it's supposed to be non-contact.
Yeah, I know, but there's boys don't fucking pull back. I've watched it. Like, you know,
PJ was out with our first game actually.
Was he?
Yeah. We put him in a chair and all, so you'd have to come to one of our matches.
I'd love to have a go. I wouldn't have the upper body strength, like, but you know. But
we got him in a chair after the game, and it took him about 40 shots to get the basket in, but we wrecked the gaff when he got it in and celebrated.
Of course, yeah.
That was a good crack. But yeah, the season is October to May. It's an All-Ireland league,
And by that, does that incorporate the 6 counties up above?
Does, yeah, thank God,
Yeah.
Belfast, and then hopefully we have another team entering from Derry as well.
Right.
Yeah, Belfast now they've been the champions the last 2 or 3 years. They've a solid team. They've changed. They used to be called the Belfast Knights. Now they're the NI Knights because they've people from all over the north.
Oh, right, fair enough. Yeah.
Them. So it's either that or it's a real DUP type of move. We'll call ourselves the NI. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they've won the league. They've got a huge kind of pool of players that they have a squad big enough where they have a team that plays in the Super League in England as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So the league we play once every 3 weeks.
Right.
And there's outstanding fixtures to play as well. So you might the odd time you might have 2 games in a week or whatever. But
Yeah.
Well, it's good.
Are you training twice a week or once a week?
We train as a team once a week, and then I'll do my own stuff in the gym maybe another 2 or 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday I would train.
Right.
And then the match will be Saturday.
And when the season starting now, so it'll run through till what? The end of spring?
May. October to May.
Right.
Yeah.
All the happy months to be out in the fucking streets around the place.
To be driving around I'm driving on Saturday to Kilkenny for a 9:30 tip-off.
Oh, lad.
Yeah.
9:30?
9:30. So when the team plays, each team hosts the day. So Kilkenny's hosting the day on Saturday, and they'll host the whole league. So there'll be fixtures from 9:30, and the last fixtures are 4:30. So 5 games will take place in the day.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And where do you play then? Where would you host, lads, then?
We host in Ballybrack, in St. Lawrence College.
Right.
So our hosting day is December 15th, and we play Cork that day.
And all the league's fixtures will be done. That's a really good
idea.
idea.
All the teams descend on the one venue for that day.
That's I kind of like the idea of that, though, in a way.
It's convenient, but to ask any competitive sport to get up and play a match at 9:30 in the morning, I think is crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of bullshit in a way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what
last year they had it where it was the earliest tip off was 11:30 and the latest was at 2:30. So they split it up last season. So it'd be 2 venues on that Saturday.
Yeah, that makes a bit more sense, I suppose. Christ almighty, like.
People were complaining, so they won over and they changed it again to 5 fixtures in a day.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I was talking the other day, somebody was asking me about, because I've had a few fighters on and all, and and I was just mentioning, did you ever come across Will Fleury? Will fucking Fleury.
Will, I've watched his fights. Yeah. I know who he is.
Because you're the kind of, there's nobody else. I mean, there's a few fighting ones, all right, like, but they're,
he's SPG as well, isn't he?
He's SPG as well, but there's a few fighting ones, like, but G would be the right good crack for me. Like, I've listened to fighting ones, it's like snooze fest, like sometimes, because it's just, I suppose, lads. Then everything else gets ruined by total anorex, doesn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I would say
sometimes you have you might, whether it be our podcast or other podcast, sometimes you have a fighter on, an MMA fighter, and they're doing their gimmick as opposed to the actual person. Like, we had Chris Fields on, and he's from Ballybrack, and I'm probably licking his arse, but he was just down to earth. Now I know Chris years, but he was just down to earth and giving his political views, and just everything. It wasn't always just talking about fighting.
Yeah,
he had an opinion. Now that could be because he's in his 30s. Then you might have another fighter that's just trying to be gimmicky,
a young fella,
and it's just trying to like rent a quote, and it's just like, that wasn't great.
Yeah,
do you know
and that's why I reckon Will came from like a family of, he's from like at home, and I suppose again it's easier.
Where's at home?
Tipperary. But
he's from at home.
He's from at home. But yeah, I think I was halfway between 2 different things I wanted to say there. He's from at home. But he comes from like a family of fucking antique dealers.
What?
Yeah. What? That's what, and I'm leaving it there. I'm just telling you, he's just a funny, interesting fucker to talk to. Like,
unreal. I must get in touch.
Like,
we're booked up actually for the next 10 weeks. So
hey.
Yeah. Well, we've soft kind of confirmations.
Yeah. Because it's hard to fucking pin people down too.
It's hard, and then they, because people are giving up their time.
Yeah.
They might just, that Wednesday morning when we record, they might just kind of go, look, I can't do it, can we rearrange?
Yeah, well, if they have a paid gig comes in somewhere, like, fuck the boys. Sorry, boys.
What we've done lately is that if someone has pulled out, sometimes we just don't do a podcast then. We could be wrecked from a day's work or whatever.
You should always do one. Like.
Yeah.
It's happened to me a handful of times, and I'll just go, well, I've committed this hour to
speaking with my face. So let's
do it, yeah.
Because you're good crack anyway. Like,
Yeah.
even though you're ripping the piss out of each other most of the time between I love the heel and the fucking baby face one.
That's just after organically happening, and he likes it. He loves being the heel. He's not really a heel.
Oh no, Danny's one of the nicest people.
Yes.
Like, because I barely...
I'm one of the funniest.
Oh, Jesus,
He should
yeah.
be still doing stand-up.
He should put so much on his fucking plate. Like, but see, it's either a case of, what do you do? Do you do the slog? Like we talked about when I was on do you do the fucking slog? Like,
Yeah.
and hope that after the 5-6 year mark, things start to get a bit easier. Like,
Yeah.
and that's some fucking commitment. Like, you need to be a broken soul in some way, like, to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Danny had dogs and stuff to be worried about. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
he's two huskies now as well.
He's two fucking huskies. Yeah. Like, but he's in the right places, down in the fucking Midlands.
Down the sticks.
He'll have to make himself a little sled, get him fucking dragged
the
around the
winter with
bogs.
The snow.
Fuck, they'd be the
He
right
definitely
jokes.
will with the snow.
So who, Jesus Christ, I was only telling Holly walking in, she'd heard of the What's the Story podcast, but...
No way.
Yeah, like...
That still blows my mind.
Dublin
man.
people fucking love it. Like, the amount of lads that I was just talking even over the weekend that I was going to have a screamers coming to Merrigan of the WTS podcast. I was like, lads fucking in Dublin love...
Shut
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
That's mental.
Isn't it bananas? Like,
It's bananas. It's like we set out when we first started, we were kind of going, we got 40, 50 local people listening, it'd be great. Now we've gone to 60,000 a month.
Yeah.
We're like, who are these people? And the messages we get, like, are nuts. We got a message from an economic immigrant, not an expat.
Right.
Joking. See people start saying economic immigrants now.
Yeah. Is that really a thing, is it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Immigrants are the undocumented or whatever. Now, we had a girl message us from London, and the message read something along the lines of, had a bad weekend, lads, listened to you on the way to work on the tube, and you have just brightened up my morning, thanks so much. And I'm just kind of going, when we get messages like that,
Yeah.
I screenshot it, or Danny, whoever sees it first, we screenshot it and we'll say, do you know them? Do you know? There's a sense of, I suppose, modesty there, in the sense that we're like, of course, I don't know them.
Of course.
Danny
Yeah.
knows them. And then it's like, no, I don't know them. And then you go on their Facebook, no mutual friends, just someone who came
Randomly,
across
yeah.
our podcast in London.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. This is like it was in Canada, and where this will tell you how this is the Irish in you too, where you want to go, oh sure, I don't know who'd be listening to me. Sure, what am I saying? Sure, it's not an interest at all to be saying. Whereas the American would go, yeah, I am awesome right now. I tell you though, who was great for getting me to shake off the shackles of being just too browbeaten, like, you know what I mean, too shy, is Colin Geddes. Geddes has a very successful podcast in Northern Ireland, and that's where I get an awful lot of my listeners from, and hence why I get booked so much in the north now. Like,
Right.
and just lads, it's all lads about our age listen to my podcast, like, and show up at, like, northern lads show up, like, to gigs when I gig in the north.
Yeah.
But it was kind of through him, like, he's been ahead of the curve. Like, he did a podcast 7 years ago, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ahead of the curve when it came to vlogging. Very funny. Says, now, I'm not joking with you. If you think you have any sort of, you're putting any brake on your brain at all, he doesn't give a fuck.
Doesn't care.
Fuck. Because he has come from a place but now he doesn't harp on about it, or in fact he doesn't harp at all about where he came from, Belfast or anything like that. But I think he's come from a place where it's like, yeah, listen, I just cannot have any fucking hang-ups on anything. There's no handbrake on this machine.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to fucking enjoy myself.
I think we're the same. Like, we don't, like, we never, like, Danny, in actual fact, does all the editing.
Yeah.
But there's never a time where we finish a podcast and we're kind of going, here, you better edit that out.
Yeah.
Or you edit that out. That's not a podcast.
No, that's exactly my
podcast is. I was at an event recently where a retired Irish footballer was doing a Q&A, and the MC that was doing the questions, that was conducting the interview, he had like an A4 pad just full of questions, and it just didn't seem natural. It didn't seem right to me, and I was kind of going, it's. You know this person, he's in the limelight.
Yeah.
You know, just run with it.
Yeah.
And he'll give you something for the next question. And that's a podcast. We had Mairead Ronan on, and Mairead Farrell.
Yes, sorry, yes, yeah.
Ireland's Fittest Family, she used to present till she got
She's
pregnant.
presenting a few things. Like,
she's brilliant. She's a really good broadcaster. She worked at Today FM for years.
Yeah, she's very enjoyable. Like she's
so easy.
There's a
listen
soundness to her. I've met her briefly. I think on TV3 one time, but I never got to talk to her.
There's a soundness to the sound of her voice.
There is. Yeah, she sounds like a gas woman. Like. Yeah.
And she finished the interview and she goes, "Lads, that was one of the best interviews I've ever done."
Yeah.
And she said it because it was long form and there was no restrictions, and we never have bullet points or questions. We just
that was it. Like I wrote him because I was like, "Will I?" And you've noticed the book hasn't opened once because I knew because I do it for.
What was in the book? Open it up.
Oh, I'll tell you what was in the book: cheating on Danny, fighting and wrestling. Knew that was going to come up. Oh, now this is a thing, but we'll talk about republicanism and the poppy and the bulls and the ballot. Yeah, that was it. Bulls and that was it.
But sure, natural.
I knew it was going to I wrote that before I ran up and got you. I was like, it was just a natural thing because sometimes you get some people and you know they're going to get a bit tongue tied.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to go around in circles either, like, you know, that kind of way. And it's just me. If there was somebody else coming at, sometimes as a duo, it's quite good because you can go. Do you know, while you were talking there, I was thinking of another thing. So it's two brains working.
That's podcast, though, isn't
it? That's podcast, yeah. But I could never...
Radio, you're restricted to 20-minute slots, so you have to have a bullet points and you have to have a script. We can go... If we wanted, we can go for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's the thing, like. See, and that's the idea of the bullet points, that things I want to ask Merro. And I'd be raging if I fucking forgot to ask you about republicanism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's only purely because my brain doesn't retain that. No, I can verbally... Shit will come out of my face continuously for 3 hours if needs be, like.
Yeah.
Do you
Same
know...
as me, I'm a waffler, like.
But
having said that... I did do bullet points once.
Did you? For who?
Christy Moore. Had to be him.
That's
different.
Yeah.
He's like...
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
He's out there, do you know what I mean? Yeah. He's on the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And I didn't really reference them. It was just sweating. And I was like, I just want this to be perfect. Do you know what I mean? And that was the only time I had bullet points.
Yeah, I thought, and I wrote a couple of bullets for Eddie O'Sullivan. And didn't really get to him. Because Eddie is such a good talker.
But sure, you're a rugby fanatic as well.
Yeah. But Eddie was a very interesting fella, and he never raises his tone or anything. So, for your podcast listener who wants to listen to somebody whose voice actually goes up and down, don't.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. If
you want to hear about an inspirational bloke who'll talk about how he was streets ahead of his time, like years ahead of him, So
that is the thing about podcasts, though, because even with, I'd say, how long did you have Eddie O'Sullivan on for?
An hour.
Yeah. But, like, you have the luxury of possibly getting him in the future to talk about other things that you missed in the first.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Like, even he said it himself, he goes, we'll have to do that again.
Yeah.
Do you know? But as dry as could be, like, it's like, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
But, like, I knew I didn't milk the situation for fucking 1/4 of what it's worth, like,
absolutely.
But, as you said, leave it. But I tell you, though, do you know what's mad? And we were just, like, we were saying, like, when people show up and say they were in London. So, what I was kind of getting to was Colin Geddes got on to me. And Gordon were going, you need to start selling merch. I was like, would you wait the fuck who'd be buying merch of my stuff, right? Yeah. And I got a logo. My brother-in-law designed a logo, and all the rest was very cool. And I just went, all right. And Geddes was like, you need to be a shameless motherfucker. He says, lads will be raging with me if I didn't have t-shirts made for him, because he has a devout following, almost religious level. So that's the thing that I've noticed in the North, is that with the divide of actually religion, because it's really fading up there badly. Like, lads they want something. They fucking, and when they want something up there and they're into a thing, they're fucking into it. Like, I'm not joking with you. 30 lads were sitting in the front row of the Empire the last night I was up there, and you knew they weren't regular Empire goers. They were heads of lads who just go, they're the heads of the lads.
You, Tom.
And they were all right, you Tom. I was like, no, I couldn't. I mean, the second I walked on stage, and I wasn't headlining, I walked on stage and you could see it. The fucking place erupted. They had no time for your man, the MC, and no time for the headliner. The lads were just laughing at everything I said.
That's hilarious.
And it was too easy. It was like, lads, fuck off, will you? But I started, and it was when, like, I remember the maddest one. A lad in Trinidad and Tobago sent me a picture of him with my face on a mug
here.
on an oil tanker. He was an engineer of some sort on an oil tanker, docked in Trinidad and Tobago, and my face, well, a cartoon of my face is on a cup. I'm like, that is blowing my fucking mind.
It's mental, isn't it?
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be people, Graham, there's going to be people in Doha listen to us right now as we sit here in the basement level of the fucking laughter lounge. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, it's nuts,
isn't it?
Sure, we did an episode on North Korea on the back of 7 North Korean listeners.
Stop.
Because iTunes sends you
What?
the heat map, the globe map, and you hover over a country, and it gives you how many people listen in that country.
How are it 7? I
So
didn't
there
think it was
seven,
allowed.
There were 7 North Koreans listening.
Oh my
to
God,
us.
I'm
Now
obsessed.
they could have been tourists that occasionally get allowed into North Korea, but anyway, we did the North Korean episode with a North Korea watcher, Paul Fisher, and it was brilliant. It was so interesting. And then Danny checked a week or two later, and they were gone.
Dead. You killed him, lads.
We
You
got-
fucking got him
Yeah,
shot.
yeah.
For sure.
But still mad, isn't it?
That is, but I'm obsessed with North Korea, and I've moved on now to Turkmenistan.
To who?
Oh, lad,
Where?
you need to get onto this.
Where is it?
Turkmenistan, right?
I've heard of
it's
Turkmenistan.
one of the stands, right? Blow your fucking mind.
Why?
If you think that Kim Jong-un was a lunatic and the shit he had built and all the rest of it, like, or any of the Kims, go have a look at the fucking looper that's running this joint. Have you ever watched that program Dark Tourist? It's on Netflix.
No, it's on Netflix. I keep meaning
Go
to
straight
watch
to
it.
that one, right, where he goes to all the stands. He goes to like the Kazakhstan, and he goes to this fucking. Oh my good fucking Jesus Christ! This guy's like built entire skyscrapers out of gold and shit.
Really?
Like, it's the fucking maddest.
Turkmenistan.
And this guy puts up like just fucking inspiration class videos of him just rolling through and shooting guns.
Is it dictatorship?
Yeah, like, and on a level of this mad fucker was like a taxi driver or something. He was he wasn't born into it anyway, but he made a deal with the devil, probably America, for their fucking minerals or something. Like,
Unbelievable.
and he makes like videos of himself looking like a 1980s fucking action hero. He makes these fucking videos to put out.
I'm dying to watch this now.
You're gonna just watch that dark, and then follow the rabbit down the hole of fucking, and like I did.
Don't need to watch it.
Oh, you'll blow your fucking mind. Blow your mind. How
Did he have puppies over there?
they do, yeah. What did you make of what's his name saying he just couldn't? What was James McLean, isn't it?
Yeah, but sure, it's every year.
Yeah, it's every year. Why does it roll around? Like, because I thought,
There's nothing else in the news, like.
yeah, I genuinely thought I definitely heard this at least a year or two before. Like, what
I think this could be the 4th or 5th year.
is it?
The National James McLean doesn't wear a poppy day. I don't like. It's turned the poppy thing has turned ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Why football teams got behind it, I don't know.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
It's turned into
Like politics should be left out of sport anyway. Like,
But if James McLean didn't get the reaction he was getting, the hatred that's being put against him, and the reaction was nothing and silence, and there was no inches in the papers.
Yeah.
It'd be an admirable response, and it'd be like, right, you can get behind the poppy or you can't.
yeah.
But the hatred now and the online abuse him and his family are receiving, it's just nothing but fascism.
It really is, isn't it?
There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
It's like, but then there's people giving out. Then there's Irish people giving out about Irish people wearing them when they're in England. You're just doing the exact same as.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
being a fascist there.
Yeah.
Because if Seamus Coleman wants to wear one as an Everton captain, he can wear one.
Of course you can. Like,
Do you know? I wouldn't wear one if I was in the position of being on a national broadcaster in Britain. I wouldn't wear one just because I don't believe in it, and because of the history of Ireland.
Yeah.
But that should be my right. Like, I shouldn't be. There shouldn't be hatred directed towards me because I don't want to wear a fucking
But it was
flower.
like when the rugby players, the Northern boys, they wouldn't sing Around Aveen, and there was
Someone
uproar.
changed the
And it's like,
bleeding anthem.
well, they gave him two. They gave him a second one.
Yeah.
They gave him,
Which is awful.
It is a dreadful foul. Phil Coulter, like, I think they roped Phil in on it fucking Friday afternoon and said, Phil, we need this for fucking Saturday morning, I think.
They think they were expecting a talent
But
I
then
love so well.
that's the mad thing. We all think it's a pox, right? But when you're in the anytime I've been in the UK, any of the teams in the UK, they fucking think it's class. They think it's like here in fucking Flower of Scotland. I'm like, I don't think it's quite up there with Flower of Scotland, but they love it.
I thought Irish rugby fans, when it first came out, loved it, and now a lot of them seem to be going against it.
I don't know, from the get-go, it seemed to be like people were going along with it because it was like, look, it's for the Northern lads. Fair, it's for them. We're still going to sing, when at home in Ireland, we're going to sing Around Aveen. And we'll sing, it's like our version of the Haka. It's to sing the
Why can't we do both away?
Oh, they won't. There's other teams that are just going, lads, come on, you're
taking the
one
piss,
or
lads.
the other. No, lads, come on.
Pick
And
it.
you're not even good singers, you cunts.
And
like,
let's say there was no 6 counties players in the team. Let's say there were none of them picked in the squad.
Yeah.
Could they pick what anthem to play when they're abroad?
I doubt it. I'd say it was. You'd see. I suppose they just want to keep everything because those lads take the piss out of the fact that they're so nerdy. Like
Rory Best isn't Irish, is he?
No, he's not. No. He's but like that. I mean, like
He'd be DUP, I'd say.
Oh yeah, but when he's he's very proud to be he's very proud to be both Irish and because what he sells most of his milk through the Irish. See, he's a big farmer, you see.
Rory Best is?
Yeah, it's a big farmer, sells most of his milk
he
through
loves
the
it
Irish.
when it suits him.
So the farmers of Northern Ireland fucking loved the whole how free, like, love being in the European Union. They're the real ones that are going to suffer badly, like,
right?
Because like Irish milk, they were peddling it as Irish milk. Technically, I suppose it was Northern Irish milk, but there was being sold back to, say, Avonmore down here or Lakelands in Cavan, most likely, and they've been peddled abroad as being Irish milk. And sure, who doesn't want to drink Irish milk because it's the daddy, basically?
Yeah.
But when there's a Northern Irish milk on it, it's like, oh, suddenly now there's a Union Jack on it. I don't think Britain are known for their milk, are they?
Yeah.
So, and it's a thing. It is just a thing that they were able to sell. So the likes of Rory Best and stuff. But I remember, like, those lads, like Andrew Trimulus, used to take the piss out of how proddy they were. They were going, we're the proddy lads, like, you know, that's what made them get on. That's what makes them get on. Is that they can rip the piss out of each other about, isn't it gas?
Do you know the thing with the puppy with James McLean? Do you think more players should get behind him?
Yeah, totally. Like, I mean, if that's his belief, I think what they should do, rather than even getting behind him, I think they should clear the fucking path in front of him and go, hoy, the man has the right to do.
Yeah.
If he wants to wear a dick on his fucking jumper, let him wear a fucking dick on his jumper. Like, if he wore, say, a rainbow badge come around Gay Pride, are people going to go, that's fucking disgraceful, you're wearing, or that you won't wear a rainbow badge? Like, it's just a fucking badge in your beliefs.
Badge, yeah, it's...
Like they're way too much fucking hang-ups in it. Like,
yeah.
There's way too much weight put in it either way, I think.
I think this whole subject does bring out the worst in people.
It
does. It brings out the worst in people, as I said, that people are giving out that he's not wearing one, and then it's bring out the worst in people that are giving out about Irish people wearing them. Why is he wearing one? Do you know, like?
But like, I mean,
I don't remember any other Irish person taking a stance like this.
Yeah,
over the years than James McLean, because if you see Roy Keane and Martin O'Neill commentating on British TV for football, they wear one. All our other Irish footballers in the Premier League wear one. I think they're kind of like, Anton for an easy life.
Yeah,
but I think McLean has to be respected for his.
Totally, absolutely, yeah, totally, 100%.
Just leave it there. Like he released a statement when he played with Wigan, and it was very articulate, and it was very, you could understand. If you can't understand, you're just full of too much
Where's
hate.
McLean exactly from?
Craigan and Derry.
Yeah, like, we almost nobody in the world, either whether it be over in mainland Britain or here in Ireland, knows what it would be like to grow up in fucking Derry.
Absolutely.
I was chatting with a guy the other day at a gig.
But sure, the British public don't know nothing about us.
No, nothing.
We know everything about them because we've British newspapers and British news channels, and we watch British TV.
Yeah.
They know nothing about us.
No, because, well, why would they?
But but imagine not knowing, imagine having so much hate towards James McLean for his stance, but not knowing the history.
I guess you see
it's this whole British fucking empire attitude of colonialism. And there was a guy in the paper or on Sky News a couple of weeks ago. Now, I don't watch Sky News. I seen a piece on Twitter someone saying, look at this bell end, and I watched it, and it was a man from the northeast of England, and he was drinking a pint of Guinness. Not that there's irony in that, but he was just drinking a pint of Guinness, and he was like,
Italian-owned company.
yeah. And he's like, he was. What did he say? He said something like, we want to remain because we want to bring it back to the empire, don't we? Like, the empire? What are you on about? It's like Damien Dempsey says, the glorious days of rule of what they teach you in your schools. Like.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, I mean,
it's crazy.
This is what I think when we go back to Twitter.
The ignorance.
It's still, but there's, I mean, there are some level, but you almost never meet those people. Like,
no, you never.
I'm convinced that there's not actually, they're just very shouty fuckers.
Yeah.
Your average Joe or Josephine that I meet here or in the north could not give one fuck politically. They're just trying to get on with their day.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the day that they'll start going, now, again, it's almost how easy is it to sit in your jocks, as we were saying, and just start giving out about a man who will or win. But, like, would you say it to the man's face? Would you? Fuck.
No, you wouldn't know.
Like, you'd be very understanding to the man's face. You know what I mean? Like,
it's easier to say something
is it
behind your phone.
Is it what? Like, I mean, what they should be doing is wearing, like, you know, buckshot badges and stuff like that.
Or what's the story badges?
What's the story badge?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Did I ever get that badge? You promised me a badge.
We never got them.
All right, well, that'll be why I didn't
I'll
get one.
talk to you off air about the merchandise, because we keep threatening to do it ourselves. We never do it.
No, do you know, take it out of your own hands and just put it up on T Republic.
I couldn't find that website the other day.
Oh, lad, I'll send it on to you.
Yeah.
It's basically for, if an idiot like me can end up sending a cup to a man in Trinidad and Tobago, that's what we're dealing with here, like. That's what we're dealing with.
I want that now. I want it.
That's the level.
Somebody in Africa or North Korea or someone just sending a picture with the What's the Story cup.
Oh, I was made. It was like, yeah.
We did set up a Patreon. We didn't put much behind it in terms of promotion.
Yeah.
I think possibly because we might have been a little disappointed at the launch. We were kind of going, because we only set it up because people were asking us in the streets, how do they contribute? Like,
yeah.
Do you know, you should be charging. I don't want to be charging for podcasts.
Yeah.
So we set it up with just like, you know, if you want to contribute, do.
Yeah.
I think we've maybe about 20 patrons.
Yeah.
Which we're thankful for, but you know, it's
Come here.
It's not going to break the bank.
This is the thing about Patreon. People are like, they're just I've gotten a fair few one-off payments, and I think there's about 14 people who are contributing monthly, which is incredible. Like, but to the point,
absolutely.
see that yoke there got bought. I made it a principle. I was going to upgrade the gear when it hit that fucking mark.
Right.
I wasn't going to add anything to it, and just when it hit a mark, I was able to buy the new gear. Like, and it was just, I made it a point to say back to the. But what I do an exclusive. There are exclusive fucking footage or material then goes to the Patreons.
Right.
And you notice that they're very complimentary of it. They're like, thank you. Because it's just wetting their beak a little bit to say, thanks very much.
This is what my
yeah. I mean, you'll make fuck all off the T Republic stuff. Like, you'll make, like...
But it's the fact that someone's wearing...
Exactly.
I would want...
Like, a lad sent me he got his fucking hoodie and he bought a load of shit. He bought like notebooks and everything. I was like, did they make?
I seen it,
yeah.
And then you wrote tRepublic.com, and I went on it, and I couldn't find tRepublic.
I'll send, maybe I wrote, I think it is just tRepublic.com. Right. I'll send you a direct link to my one. Feel free to buy whatever you want off of there.
I might buy a notepad.
Yeah, but but he was in Munich. You're like, some lad is walking around Munich with buckshot written on a fucking hoodie.
Unbelievable.
Like. It's like, that is the most bizarre shit.
But before people were asking us, could they contribute? They were asking us for t-shirts and hoodies and all.
Yeah.
And then the logo, I think the one t-shirt distributor we went to said that the logo, there's too many colours in the logo for him to be able to make it. So we'll get some. Yeah. I got, now that you'll give me that link, I'll go to that.
You just throw it up on it. Yeah. And at the very least, like I said, you'd make more if you were an Irish fucking t-shirt maker, or you were making your own, you were collecting them for him. Like Geddes now does that, Colin Geddes. Like, but he's, he physically goes to the printer, and then boxes them up and sends them out to people. Like, but like his wife works with him as well on it too. And it's fuck me, I would not have the time nor the patience. Yeah. Like, I'd want to be flogging. Like, you know what I mean? I'd want to have nothing else on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To be able to rap. But these people...
It's about having the time, isn't it?
It is. And the idea of T Republic is, at the very least, what it does is just it's cool. You know what I mean?
It's a great service. Like.
It's a great service. You just throw up the old JPEG there. Like, and if people want to, like, and a few lads are actually come back to me and said, could I write just do a design for the podcast of funny things you've said? Like Gordo of those conspiracy guys. Man. Like the amount of...
Mad thing.
Mad. But he'll come out with mad stuff, and some fan will do an animation of the mad shit he just said, like, and they'll send it in and go, you know what, fucking class. Yeah.
All his listeners are American, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they are. Like,
they love the conspiracy.
It'd be a bad month if he didn't break 3 million.
I know.
I swear in my life. When he was saying to me one day, he was complimenting me on the few thousand. I was like, that's in the top 10%, Tom. I'm like, Gordo, no matter what way you're going to put this sounds like you're patronising the shit out of me.
No, he's so encouraging, though.
He's unbelievably encouraging.
He's
and
so
it's
encouraging.
Because
the amount of... Anytime we see him now, the amount of stuff he offers them, and possibly we're worse for not taking him up sometimes on his help.
I'm telling you,
he'll do anything for you.
He just moved out of the house and he gave away nearly all his gear. Like, he gave the desk...
He's going to America, isn't he?
Yeah. He's doing fucking lunatic, like legend. like fucking GoFundMe the whole lot, and
Yeah.
got him to where he needs to be. So he's going around Christmas doing the 12 fucking. And I've said it to, you know what, to anybody who ever listens to this, do you mind fucking contributing to me? Fuck that.
Yeah.
Give it to fucking him, because he's got to buy a van, buy fucking gear. Over
How
it.
has Virgin Media Television not got him yet?
Blows my fucking mind. He was on it a couple of weeks ago on the 6 o'clock show, but
Yeah.
you're like, are you fucking? You watch somebody who'll put 120 hours a week into a fucking
Podcast.
into a one podcast. Are you joking me? That
How have they not picked him?
And for a split second, we lost it there, Merro, but we're back on. What were we talking about?
Gordo.
He gave away all his sound desk, his fucking unbelievable mics. He gave them to our mutual friend Adam Burke.
Oh, lovely.
Because Adam has the Youth Reach podcast starting
Brilliant.
up,
Youth
and he
Pod
says,
Ireland.
"Here's the fuck," and all the yokes bolted together on it, and all, like the proper arms and everything, like for the mics, quite quality mics. He says, "Look, this will get you fucking going." And he gave away stuff to like his wife's school and stuff. You're like, Jesus Christ.
Such a good idea Adam has there for Pod Ireland.
Totally,
'Cause
yeah.
I was on the podcast with the guys, and they were looking talking to me about kind of a wheelchair inclusive awareness day that they were conducting in the U Club.
Oh yeah.
And they brought me down just for advice and tip, but then they just start talking about me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great idea. Like,
But do you know what? That's the thing, though. I never.
people are complaining. There's Jim Nugent on FM 104 was complaining about too many podcasts, but like,
Fuck
so,
off yourself,
so
Jim.
what? Like,
Do you know what Jim's problem is?
yeah, it's,
Yeah.
exactly.
We're running them down.
Yeah,
That's the
running them
fucking
down.
problem.
We're
Nobody's listening to the radio anymore.
Yeah, because people are downloading their podcasts to their apps, and on their journey, they're putting them on the car, and they're not listening to the Strawberry Alarm.
Yeah. And so many people, like I asked, talking with people, like about even do they download anymore? And so many people are on all you can eat fucking data, so they don't even bother.
No, don't.
Because
bother,
you're
yeah.
just going, fuck it, I'll just stream it, listen
yeah.
live.
What other podcasts do you listen to?
I listen to Year One. Year One, I'm always driving back from a gig on Sunday nights, and
Deadly.
Year One, lovely.
Perfect.
So it puts me in a good old mood. Normally, I'd be in an all right mood after a gig anyway.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like, oh lads, because they're, you know, there's nothing like it's class to listen to people. Like I listen to, I do listen to rugby ones and sports ones, all right. But I like the serial ones. If you listen to Serial and S Town and that,
I didn't like the narrator.
it would give you a pain in your hoop.
Yeah.
There's
Just
no
thought
doubt.
It was real Siri-like or something.
Yeah. Well, fuck that. Have you listened to S Town?
No.
Okay, forget about Serial. Your one would give you a bit of a dose, but go listen to
I'll
S.
give you a doubt.
She would, like, you know, you'd be fucking, you know, it's the very, hey guys, so absolutely, you're like, oh my god, this is so American right now, like, but there, you know, but she's like, but your man, another bloke who has a fucking just as annoying voice,
Yeah.
but the story of S Town, which is made by the same company, fuck me.
Really?
Oh my god, it's like 7 or 8 episodes of half an hour or something. And
Is it only half an hour?
that's all it is. You'll have it licked in no time, but it's fuck.
Yeah.
This is an unreal mad story. Like,
Do you ever listen to Something to Wrestle With?
yes, I
brilliant,
did.
isn't it?
I think that was on your advice.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it in a while because just before you know it, there's a fucking
The
plethora of them. Like.
nostalgia is on.
I do like I like the old wrestling stuff. Like,
but this is the old wrestling, but backstage. What happened? What happened when?
I listen to.
It's unbelievable.
I love listening to Stone Cold when he's got old wrestlers on. They're
Yeah.
talking about, and he does, like, he repeats himself a lot, and he's like, so we're going up and down the road there, and you're going, okay, all right, you know, and you're like, and we're going through this territory, and you're like, and that's the bottom line, called Stone Cold. I was there with my illustrious wife, and you're like, okay, Stone Cold, take it down a fucking notch. Like, and it's funny because older lads will come on, they'll be like, hey, how's it going, Steve? And it's like, oh yeah, sure, we're having a grand old time there, and he jumps straight into wrestling mode straight away again. He's like,
Oh man.
what are you doing? All right? And you're like, oh Jesus Christ! But
But all those
I still like listening to him though. You know what I mean?
They have it's probably the American thing, but they have a huge opinion of themselves. don't
Like
they? Like Jim Ross and all. Oh,
I think it's easier just to nearly slip into that in America. I find than actually, you know, slip into what people know you as. You know, that kind of way. Like, was in Ireland, and a lot of fucking nationalities are like that. I think Irish people, we claim to be not very confident, but I think we're quite we've an underlying confidence in the fact that we're, I'm fucking me.
Yeah.
Fucking take me or fucking don't. You know, that kind of way. There's nearly an element of
Yeah.
fuck off yourself, because I don't think horse shit of the highest order sits well with an Irish person. I think that's why Irish podcasts seem to do quite well with Irish people, because they kind of like that there's no horse shit being talked. I think a lot of the Twitter generation and Instagram generation, it gives them a fucking
You do. I don't
You
think.
know.
I don't think Ireland. It's like what you were saying earlier on. To have to pay for this or whatever. I don't think Irish people are ready to pay for podcasts.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you know?
Yeah.
I think the nature of it is that. Oh no, that was a great interview there. It was, but I wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's a different take. You know, when we had Christy Moore on, we were getting reviews. We were getting comments saying best interview.
Yeah.
Best interview of Christy we've heard in years and stuff like that. Because we got an hour with him. Do you know?
Nobody gets an hour, like.
Do you know? And I know Christy quite well.
Yeah.
And he was comfortable. Do you know? If he's on the Late Late Show, he's 20 minutes, and it's in front of 700,000 people.
Go on, do fucking Jockster goes to Stuttgart.
Do
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah.
So it's a unique format. But at the same time, I don't think people are ready.
They're not ready yet, but it will. Like, it'll come full circle. It'll come around. Like, I don't know. Like,
it'd be great if we could earn a living off it.
It would be quality to. But you know what? I mean, it is in a way. It's kind of asking a lot of people because you're asking them to trust you.
But I would like to make a living off it, not off people paying for it, off sponsors.
Yeah.
But sponsors won't commit because I could go on a rant about. I could go on a rant about republicanism.
Yeah.
And the next minute,
you're
someone
pulled,
gets on to
like,
the sponsor and you're pulled.
That's kind
it's like Blind Boy can't get a sponsor because he talks too much.
Of course,
about mental health.
But I mean, I kind of like the lack of sponsor too, though. In a way,
100%.
Because I like the $2 from fucking Mary Ryan out in fucking Canada at the minute. You know what I mean? Because they've made a fucking committed decision. They've buy the fucking gear. They're self-producing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's way cooler because we can sit here for the next half an hour and go, what about the cunt and the cunt and the cunt and cunt and the cunt and cunt, and nobody can pull us.
Yeah.
Nobody can touch us for
Absolutely,
it.
yeah.
And it's not because I really want to
I agree
swear.
with you 100%.
But I get with you. Like, if you could get a cool sponsor on board who are like a beer company, go, boys, do exactly what you're doing.
But that's something the rest of it have. They used to have a beer sponsor,
Right?
and all they did was pretend to open a can, and the sound effect of a can opening.
Was that it?
That was it, or a bottle opening.
Fucking hell.
And they might say Coors or whatever it was. Do you know?
Coors are sponsoring actually the weekend here at the Laughter Lounge. It's actually this Coors Cavan effect or whatever the fuck it is this weekend.
Actually, is it?
Yeah, I'm here
Jesus.
this weekend, and it's actually Coors are sponsoring this weekend.
Come on,
yeah,
you cute, who are you?
Yeah, just slip it in there. Even though Coors are definitely not paying me, but you know, if you want to give me a code, I fucking hate Coors.
But I'd hate it's like Blind Boy where he doesn't want to put too much sponsor emphasis on this podcast. So
yeah,
you
of
wouldn't
course.
want to be taking breaks, or you wouldn't want to be saying,
stop. Yeah.
Like when we do it in the hotel, because Danny's moved down to the sticks, we've taken the Skype a lot more now recently, and we'll make sure we'll maintain our contact with the hotel because they're very good to us, maybe once a month. But we will only mention the hotel at the start.
Yeah.
You know, the fabulous and famous Fitzpatrick Castle Hotel, Clooney.
But like that's the same thing. Like, even if I was recording somewhere else, I would still reference the Laughter Lounge and what's happening this weekend, like in the Laughter Lounge, like, because they're like that, Holly.
Where
like,
are we?
We're in the Laughter Lounge on Eden Quay. Shows Thursday through to Saturday. But it's like typically we would record the stage, but because they're fucking out a heap of stuff.
We're on stage.
We're on stage right now. But actually, the green room is probably it's the quietest it's ever fucking been because there'll be little or no echo in here too. Yeah. But as that's something I'm trying to counteract. They want to record it on the stage all the time and film it live, but this fucking echo coming through isn't hectic. Like it'll be nice. This will be way better. The sound.
The echo, yeah.
It's the echo. You're in a giant fucking hay barn of a room. I might have to up the mic quality. Maybe I don't know. Like, but it's at the minute it's a bit echoey out there. Like so. But yeah, of the wrestling, what other podcasts do I listen to? I do like some of the history ones. But I listen to, obviously, Gordon on those conspiracy guys.
Now that the basketball season's back, I get back into...
Oh, do you?
Yeah, because of driving. Like, I've said it to Gordon before, sometimes I just don't have 6 hours, 7 hours to listen to one of his
it's
episodes.
a good for an old spin down the country and back.
If I'm going up to Belfast or down to Cork, going down and back in the day, I'll definitely listen to him. I used to love when it was him and Paul as well.
Yeah, Paul was great, but then I think just things weren't right for Paul. I think he was just, he was back and forth, I think, with a woman in, I think, Brazil or something like that. It just wasn't working for him.
The women.
The women.
The
fucked
women,
it.
they'll ruin
Fucked
everyone,
it.
don't they?
Yeah. You need to find the right good one, like pin her down and just fucking,
Women ruin everything.
Yeah, but they.
But I love them.
I fucking love them. I love the women, but they fucking ruin it. Yeah.
We need them.
Do you know what? And the likes, even Gordo said it though. He needed, like, he wouldn't be out where he is. Only he has a very supportive woman with him, like.
Yeah.
So it can go one or two ways. Like the gas thing was, I think the woman's situation wasn't working for Paul, but the women's situation was absolutely working for Gordo.
Right.
And Gordo, in fairness, was doing all the editing. It was his gear. And while Paul, he was doing all the you want to see the level of research he's done.
Oh, Adam was telling me.
I had 2 iPads out in front of the 2 guests, and you just fucking read through it, and then you talk after every maybe large segment. You talk about your opinion on the moment, on the thing, and have a bit of banter. But then it's scroll on, and he's written all this out. Like he hasn't copied.
He's asked me and Danny to go on, so hopefully that happens.
Yeah, I'd say you missed the boat. I'd say.
Oh, we probably did. 'Cause he's gone, isn't he?
He's got. Well, he's not gone, but he has like 40 or 50 episodes recorded. And he will be
40 or 50 episodes recorded.
A lot of them are true crime as well, but he's going to be pumping out pretty much one a week while he's gone. So it's not one a month now anymore. He's going to bang out in one a week because he now has big sponsors on board who want more out of him. Basically.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, he is like these.
It's fair play to him. He's so natural as well.
Oh, stop! You could listen to him, just Gordo by himself talking all day long, like because he's.
Well, we were down the Bray Comedy Festival and we were in a hut with him and we were just talking shite.
Yeah. Oh, you could. That man would talk about anything.
That's what I'm saying. He needs a TV show. Like.
But you see, look, if any of them had half the fucking brains, they would go. Like, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Give him 6 episodes. Commission 6 episodes, half an hour a piece.
Yeah.
And just pick a subject.
You tell me you couldn't rumble fucking 50 grand out of somewhere.
No.
And just go, here.
Here, there you go.
There you go. Because he'd spend it well.
Absolutely.
But like, you need only look at it. You meet any man who's willing to work 100 hours a week what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it's in your rhetoric, i.e. the media / talking to the public.
Yeah.
Fucking lock him down.
Is it over 100 hours?
100 hours a week he's putting into that. If somebody's willing to do that, or Graham, if I'm getting excited here. But if you can find a butcher who'll work that fucking much, buy a fucking butcher shop and put him in it. Do you know what I mean? Put him in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you're in the business and making money, and you're somebody who's willing to put that level of fucking time into a thing, you find a way of making money off them.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And give them a platform and like the TV shows have a platform, but then you see they'd be terrified.
One of his favourite episodes was the Charles Manson one.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't want that to end. I didn't want it to end, but at the same time, the information they were giving me, I wanted to see visually.
Yeah.
On a documentary.
Yeah.
With them narrating, with them hosting. That's what he's going to be doing in America, isn't he? Yeah.
He's doing feature length fucking, and he's going to. And in fairness, the followers he has in America, clearly, 3.5 fucking million, But
can't wait to see that now.
And the standard he'll do it to, like, you know what I mean. And people are going, come stay with me. I know of a fucking mad fucking militia group that are living up in the fucking woods who'll fucking talk to you. But you can't bring your camera. You just have to talk to them and stuff.
And then feedback.
Yeah, but those are the people that are coming to him, like.
Unreal.
They're like, it is done and dusted. Like, if Netflix don't fucking buy it, like, there is no justice in the world if Netflix don't buy it off him, like.
And will he market it to Netflix?
Yeah. And then I think the big plan is for a fucking major to basically crush everybody when he comes back. The idea is to crush everything. Media outlets crush everything. Unreal. By basically fucking...
But he's the contacts as well.
He does have his contacts. But sure, if you come back and you've just sold 10 episodes to Netflix and you have a podcast listenership of on probably now weekly of that's up there nearly with Joe Rogan. You'll crush anything you fucking turn your eye on. Like Absolutely. The ISO basically. He's just going to...
Yeah.
And that's the plan. It's just to come back to Ireland and dominate from Ireland in the way that Vice ended up getting their own channel and everything. The way they did it. The way Vice... They were able to send roving reporters out, and it was all online at first with Shane and all the rest of them sending people out. That's his plan. And then bring in all the podcasts of people he knows who'll work their whole off, bring them under his umbrella and get the sponsorship back through them. Like All Things Comedy. Have you seen the way All Things Comedy do theirs?
No.
They've brought in now Carol Donnelly, and is the first British one I think to be brought in, but it was Bill Burr and a couple other comedians. They went, fuck all these fucking fuckers, all lone wolfing it. Lads, come all in underneath our umbrella. We'll get you sponsors through our big names. And everybody's now making good moolah because the lads, through their big names, were able to bring in, and now they're starting to fucking make comedy albums from people because they bought a studio and everything where everybody can pop in and do their recording, and now they're able to do specials for lads, like record their actual live albums and stuff and put it out through there. It's, it's a great way of thinking, like, yeah. And now I think that's where Gordon is going, like, the plan is to fuck, and that'll dominate. Who the fuck would keep up with that then?
No,
like,
nobody.
Hey, hello, 3.5 million listeners.
Yeah.
1/10 of you go listen to these lads. You'll enjoy
Give me €1 each, lads.
Yeah. So but he's coming from the right place. I can't fathom how the fuck you would throw money at some lad who's going to cook yet again another fucking way of cooking chicken. You're going to fucking send a camera crew down to his whatever, their studio kitchen, and the way they're making these cooking shows, you're like, lads, do you want to make real money? Have a look at somebody who's willing to put 120 hours a week into a fucking... Get him and lock him down.
Yeah.
That's you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
I couldn't put my money on a better pony than him right now. As fellas, you couldn't, like. Because anybody I've ever come across who's willing to work that much at one thing, that's
crazy.
Yeah, that person's going to make money.
Yeah.
Just simple as that.
Absolutely.
But... So, we never properly... So, WTS. So, you're on every... How long are you on the go?
3.5 years.
Aye.
Yes, June would have been 3 years.
And how did it... Like, you were always buddies, because I remember I didn't know you probably, but I known Danny for years, which we talked about on your one. And, like... But I'd see pictures, because you lads were off to fucking Vegas every second fucking week watching fights. But you were really into... Because I had fought a little bit and watched UFC, and you watched, like, Bellator and stuff. And I think I used to watch Sherdog. It was some Russian fucking version of it, like, as well. But you were actually going to the fights. Yeah. And the next thing you were like, all of a sudden, there's the boys with Joe Rogan. Yeah, or there's the boys standing beside fucking Rampage Jackson or somebody. Yeah. How the fuck? Or did you just go, hey, Merro, UFC fucking 3 is coming up, we're going?
No, in terms of the podcast, or how do we get
the fights? You were, sorry, this is when, I'm jumping all over the place. But this is pre, I suppose, the podcast, when you were into fighting with UFC and stuff.
Yeah, I went to school with Danny's brother Jono, and we were in the same class for years. And Danny is 4 years younger than me, 4 years. Danny's 30, I'm 34. But me and Danny were always mates, even through school, secondary school, right. A few years below me. So I've known him for years. Like, I've known his family for years. I can't remember whether we went to... I think the podcast was around before we went to the fights. Yeah, it was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. The podcast started in June 2015, didn't it? 3.5 years. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And you were just...
and then we went to our first fight in Vegas in the September. So we were always MMA fans. Yeah. And we were always gagging for an Irish MMA star to break out, so to speak. Because we never emotionally got behind any other fighter, really.
Fuck me.
But Danny and his brother did. Danny and his brother,
that's
they went to Brock Lesnar's fights in LA and stuff like that. Or Anderson Silva. John was obsessed with Anderson Silva. But me, I went with the two lads, and my brother, we went to Conor McGregor against Dustin Poirier in the September of 2015. And that's when it really kind of kicked off. We went to that fight, and then we went to the Chad Mendes fight, the Nate Diaz fight.
You'd do a great job if you got McGregor on.
Oh, stop. We've had his dad on a few times. His dad's a mad thing. And every time we have his dad on, I was like, will you get Conor to come on? And he's like, yeah, well, I'll ask. And we think it's like fresh in his memory, but we'll probably... I'm confident that we'll get him sometime.
You will.
But I just think it'll probably be when he's retired or whatever. Because I don't... Like, we started the podcast in the June before we went away, and it was just me and Danny. We actually worked together at the time, and we were kind of bored with the job. And I had dabbled in media. I did journalism. Danny did journalism. Danny did journalism. I did media techniques. Diploma, and I worked for Dublin City FM for years, hosting a League of Ireland show.
Yes.
With Declan Hughes. I did that for maybe 3 or 4 years, and I just always wanted to get into radio. I wanted to get into broadcasting, producing. And Danny goes, Jesus, podcasts are taking over. Like, what do you think about making a podcast? I was like, yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
and we invested our money and got the equipment, and we just said we'll give this a go, and sure, if we got 40-50 people listening to us weekly, it'd be great, like, because we're just doing it as a hobby. It started off kind of like as a blog.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be like
yeah.
a blog entry,
I get you.
audio-wise, and then it just evolved. And it evolved because the guests were so generous at the time. Like, I think we've only ever had one rejection.
Really?
Officially, through us.
Right.
And that
Are
rejection...
you allowed to say who it was?
That rejection wasn't even that person.
Okay, right.
It was the person's agent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm kind of going, I wonder if the agent even said it to the person.
Yeah.
Andrew Maxwell.
Was it?
Yeah. That was 3 years ago.
I'd be surprised. Yeah, he's all right. Like, I mean, you know, he's...
And he's based in England as well. So at that time, we were kind of getting the guests to come to us. And then as it evolved, we're like, geez, we can do this on Skype. We'll ask George Foreman on.
That's the amazing... And who's the...
Ask DDP on.
Yeah.
You know, you can ask anyone on.
Oh, what, you just find an email address for him and just fucking bang it out?
Find an email address, tweet them. How we got George Foreman is we tweeted, do you want to come on to an Irish podcast to talk to your Irish fans?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Like.
no worries.
I couldn't believe it when I saw that new podcast update. Fuck off.
Yeah.
No, that's George, somebody who worked as a foreman on some job advisor on. Fuck off.
It's the foreman of a building.
Yeah,
so
that's what I thought.
you mad fuck.
I just went, there's no fuck. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it actually is. The boys have fucking balls of steel.
We just send out tweets, emails. Paul Howard has been amazing. Paul Howard basically just gives us his phone book sometimes. Anytime we're with him.
That's unreal.
Who do you want, lads? We've had Ken Early, who's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
We do local ones as well. People that do good in our community, we have them on.
Yeah.
People that have...
Jeez, you even had this fucking agent on years.
We had some gobshite called Tom Matney on.
I remember I made the 99 one because I think we opened up with talking about Teddy's ice cream. Like, it just went straight into Teddy's. I can remember it because it was like, well, there's no better way to talk about fucking
Teddy's.
Up Teddy's.
Yeah. PJ's been on a few times. He lives local now, so
he's handy to get in.
He's handy to get in. But like we're saying, that because of the podcast format, and you don't get to talk about everything you want to in the 45 minutes or the hour.
Yeah.
We always bring them back.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Like, could you, like, there's no way I can remember anything we talked about on our podcast. There was nothing solid.
A story that you told that was absolutely amazing about going to a gig and the lads with the rifles or something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's been a few since then. Yeah.
But yeah, sure, I can't remember last week's podcast.
Yeah.
Like I'd see people out in the pub or whatever, and someone stopped me last Friday up in Dundrum Town Centre and said, they quoted me about saying something.
Yeah.
And I was kind of miffed, and I was like, oh, yeah. And then they were like, you said it last week. I was like, jeez, man. I says, I can't remember yesterday.
Yeah, it was put to me yesterday about, I was down in Limerick, and it was one of the lads who's going to be in the cast. He was actually in Damo and Ivor as well with me. And he says, geez, I love the McSavage one. You were talking about it. He could see the glaze coming over my eyes. He went, You don't fucking remember a thing, do you? I went, no.
I never remember.
No.
I never remember.
So do you know what? We'll wrap it up because Jesus Christ, it's nearly. Well,
we're wafflers.
We're wafflers.
Thanks for having me on, Tom.
Thank you very much for coming on, Danny. I know if you've listened to this far,
he's the heel. Don't mind
him. I can only fucking apologise. We'll have you on at some stage, but let's be honest.
Danny,
the real crack. I had to have the real crack on.
Danny wants you promised the whiskey thing in the bar.
Totally.
Yeah.
I put it to him about 10 times. I said, boss, I'm only living up the road. I'm in Enniskerry. For fuck's sake, put it together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's very organised that way. So put it together. Well, I say up the road. I'm up the road from you now.
Up the road from me. You're
He's
miles away from Danny.
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will do a whiskey pod because I think he was on to somebody else about. I think he was on to Paddy Hoolan as well. I think Paddy Hoolan. I think he tagged in it and went, and Cormac Moore was like, yeah. The WTS boys and the rest of them. We just go fucking hard.
We should just do a mad podcast convention and just drink loads of whiskey.
Oh, yeah. Did you do the podcast festival? No,
we did the first one.
Yeah,
weren't invited back.
Yeah, I haven't been invited at all. You have to fit a certain rhetoric, but look, yeah. Fuck that guy. Yeah. Who the fuck is that guy?
For sure, Gordo wasn't on at the first one.
He got hamstrung on this one because you know what he did last time? He booked out the fucking and sold out the Sugar Club just to show everybody.
On a week later.
Yeah. Sure. Look. This is all fun and games. Everybody can catch you. Do you want people to follow you?
If you want them at Merrigan Mania everywhere.
Merrigan Mania, what a great
Twitter.
fucking name.
Merrigan Mania came from but I was a teenager
Used to
making
rip
my
your
first
shirt off.
email address. My first email address was merriganmania@aircom.net.
At aircom.net.
And I just went with it.
Yeah.
Merrigan Mania on Twitter, Merrigan Mania on Instagram. Danny is at Danjo Murray everywhere, and the podcast is WTS Pod on Twitter.
Brilliant stuff. I'll put the links in the description of this, Merro.
Thank you.
It's been a fucking beautiful time. Now let's go off and put a couple of fucking Easter fucking lilies on us.
I only bought some the other day.
Did you? Can I have one?
I bought 3.
Bought one. I'm after getting a tattoo, you fucker. Good looking, thanks. There you are. Big thanks to Graham Merro Merrigan. What an absolute fucking legend. That was good crack, wasn't it? Huh? Probably got ourselves into... Well, I probably got myself into a bit of trouble to the whole thing, but fuck it. Like that, like he said, follow the boys on WTS Pod. Merrigan Mania will find him anywhere, and Danjo Murray will find Dan. Just follow the podcast and you'll find the two boys. You're not going to be disappointed. If you look at their back catalogue, it's absolutely ridiculous on the guests they've had. So thanks very much to Graham. I will have Danny on, even though we've had a bit of heat online ever since, which is absolutely fantastic. We're probably going to do that whiskey pod at some stage. But thank you very much for listening. If it's your first time, please hit subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to. You can obviously find it on everything, and if you're more of it's even on Spotify, guys. If you want to find it, it's over on fucking Spotify. Go have a gander at that. If you are on Apple Podcasts, please give us an old high rating. Give us an old 5-star rating, lads. Don't bother at all. The 5 stars. We only want 5 stars here over at Buckshot. Us and the Buckshot ears. The Buckshot ears would be a good name for a fucking t-shirt, wouldn't it? The Buckshot ears. Anyway, 5 stars or nothing at all. Leave us an old comment, but more importantly, share. Tell everybody about it. Because the more the merrier that listen to it, the more that hit up Patreon, the more the podcast gets fucking better and better. Might end up with a couple of guests as big as the lads. Who knows? Like that. Follow the boys on everything. Follow me on all social platforms with Tom O'Mahony Comedy. You'll find me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. If you're on the chatty snaps, go to Tom Bear O'Mahony. I don't use it so much, but if you do have a question, shoot me it on over. Or if you have a comment on anything, I'm more than happy. Hit me up on stuff. If I've gotten shit totally wrong or whatever, something's not right in your ears, let me know. There'll be no whinge coming from me. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that, and I want you to go on away, enjoy yourselves, and have a lovely weekend, boys and girls.